Greetings everyone and welcome to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Rewritten. I already like this show, but I feel like it could have been better, so that's what we'll be doing today. The beginning of the episode today is about the same, with Peter being rushed to school, the school being attacked by what appears to be a symbiote, Dr. Strange showing up to fight it, Peter saving and meeting Nico, and Peter getting bitten by a radioactive spider that came through the portal. Then we have a time skip to Peter being Spider-Man in his homemade suit, and swinging around the city, and here is where we get our first major change. To a part where rich kid Harry Osborn gets chased by some thugs into an alleyway. Instead of some random no-name thugs, these three will be established Marvel characters, Ox, Fancy Dan, and Montana Max, aka the Enforcers. This will be important later. Just like the original episode, Spider-Man beats the thugs down and we get some jokes, stops a car crash, and makes it to school. Then we get our next change in her removal of Thorough. 1, because she doesn't do anything in this season. 2, she has nothing to do with Spider-Man. And 3, she is connected to Namor, and I hate Namor. She is replaced with Betty Brant. And the story is mostly the same, but this way, we can have some Daily Bugle related things. The next few things play out like normal. Peter meeting Lonnie Lincoln, becoming friends with him. You have the scene of Spider-Man, the criminal, and the shop owner, because I love that scene. Lonnie's walk home, and Aunt May introducing Peter to Norman Osborn, who wants to recruit Peter. And our first episode comes to a close. Now on to episode 2. This episode opens where the previous left off, with Norman and Peter meeting. Norman reveals he's been following Peter's academic performance and offers him a paid internship at Oscorp. Peter is excited but also a bit nervous about the opportunity. At school, Peter meets his science partner and quarterback classmate, Lonnie Lincoln, who invites him to a big football game party. Peter reveals his new internship to Lonnie. There is one change to where Peter gets an ice bucket dropped on his head by the school's prankster Bobby Drake. Football game where Peter watches for a few minutes, but he has to leave early for his Oscorp internship. Mostly the same as original, he meets his fellow interns, Jean Falcott, Tasha, Amadeus Cho, and somebody I added, Hank McCoy. He meets his grumpy instructor, Dr. Bentley Whitman, who is very stern, Peter and Hank in particular. Peter then meets Carla Connors, a woman with one arm who helps Peter work on an energy-saving device. The party scene stays about the same, only this time Bobby Drake is a reason that Nico has to go home because he pranked her using some snow. She wonders how he made it. And like in the original, Peter sees a report of a building burning down and he makes an excuse to leave. Hank McCoy gets a little suspicious as Peter leaves, but doesn't think too much of it. Spider-Man swings onto the scene of a burning building and sees the arson is a man in a welding mask calling himself Butane. His tech has an Infinity logo, and the fight plays out mostly the same, with Butane looking incompetent, Spider-Man saving a dog, making a quip, and defeating Butane with a web slingshot. He notices the logo, wondering what it means. After a fight, Peter returns to Oscorp very late. Osborn has noticed his absence and summons him to his office. Osborn shows Peter's security. Peter putting on the Spider-Man suit. This raises tension. Peter's dual identity may already be under scrutiny as our episode comes to a close. Cut to where the last episode left off, where it is real that Norman knows Peter's secret. He knows that Peter is Spider-Man and promises to keep his secret safe. Says they'll talk later. Peter thinks about it on the way home. We keep the conversations between Nico and Peter, and how Peter needs a break, and how they could catch a movie. We cut to the scene outside a restaurant where Peter walks in to meet Norman. Norman reveals that he wants to help Spider-Man because he saved his son, Harry Osborn, and because of a recent law passed against unregistered superheroes, thanks to the Ultron incident, and Henry Pym quitting the Avengers and becoming Yellow Jacket, and setting up laws with Maria Hill. He hands Peter a $1,000 check to help him with money problems he and his Aunt May are facing, and to once again thank him for saving his son. We cut to Speed Demon and his girlfriend Tarantula, who are outside an alleyway putting money into the garbage, as directed by the text of a mysterious caller. Trash bin grows mechanical limbs and crawls away, leaving a suitcase behind with some money and tech inside, which Tarantula kisses Speed Demon for and calls him a genius. Peter returns home, seeing that Aunt May is packing up things to sell, and Peter listens to her disguised stress and grief over the bills and Uncle Ben's recent death as he grabs Uncle's old camera. I would not actually change anything about the conversation with Nico and Peter at school. Lonnie and Peter's chat at lunchtime, Lonnie having money problems, choosing to pay for everyone's lunch anyway, getting an apple for himself because of said problems, and everything else about this scene as I already love it. I will also keep a tragic scene of Lonnie finding out his little brother has been hanging out with a street gang and goes to his room to find out that he snuck out again. Keep the scene with Speed Demon and Tarantula going wedding dress shopping the same, but I will change the costumes to be more like the comics, so they look more memorable as they rob the store. We also keep the scene of Peter taking pics and looking through old pictures on Uncle Ben's camera, same as I also like that scene too. It's an alert and swings onto the scene of a crime. And then we cut to the first part of a fight scene between Spider-Man, Speed Demon, and Tarantula. And I'm going to keep the dialogue mostly the same, including the burglar joke. First part of the fight makes it look like Spider-Man is losing as we fade to black. I will also keep the 1/10 introduction with Lonnie grabbing his little brother and trying to leave, but being stopped by Big Donovan, and Lonnie trading himself for his brother's freedom, and Big Donovan accepts. We cut back to the fight, and Speed Demon kicks Spider-Man into a car saying, "So much for Bug Boy," and he and his girlfriend gear up, beat down the police. Norman taps into Spider-Man's frequency and explains to Peter how to defeat Speed Demon and Tarantula. Spider-Man can dodge Speed Demon and trip him with a red roll and tie him and Tarantula up. He sees the same symbol on their attack as butane stuff, and so does Norman. This allows Peter and Norman to form an alliance, take these weapon makers down, shake hands as it is paired with a scene of Lonnie and Big Donovan shaking hands as our episode comes to a close. Well, that does it for now. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. You know how it is. Anyway, I'll see you next time.